before the sun has cleared the hills, and make the same cup of tea every day. The kettle whistles its familiar song, steam rises in the slowly growing light. These small repeated actions anchor me, remind me who I am and where I am. There is deep comfort in the ritual, even when the ritual is simple and mundane. The same mug, the same chair, the same window where I watch the world transition into day. I used to think that routine was the enemy, that spontaneity was the only way to live. But I have learned that ritual creates space for magic to unfold within the structure. When the external stays consistent and reliable, the internal has permission to explore. My morning practice holds me like a cup that I can pour my changing self into. Some days I'm full of energy and plans, others I'm heavy with exhaustion or with grief. But the ritual remains steady underneath. It says you are allowed to feel everything. You don't have to perform or prove your worth, just be here with your tea and watch the dawn. These moments teach me how to be with myself without distraction or demand or judgment. Just breathing, just existing, just allowing the day to arrive at its own perfect pace. By the time the sun is fully up, I feel prepared to face whatever comes, not because I've done something extraordinary, but because I've honored this 1 hour of peace. When evening comes, I'll have another ritual that guides me gently back toward rest. The bookends of my day hold everything, the chaos and the beauty in between. This is how I've learned to love my life, not by making every moment magnificent, but by treating the ordinary as sacred space. The path ahead is dark, but I'm not afraid. I've walked through darkness many times before. I know it as a friend who teaches lessons that daylight cannot show. With all its brightness, my eyes adjust, I find my footing slow. I listen for the signs that guide my way. The sound of water running somewhere near, the rustle of wind through unseen branches. I am not trying to eliminate the dark or wish myself into a different landscape. I'm simply moving through it with attention, carrying whatever light I have inside. The light is just a tiny spark, barely enough to see my own two hands. Other times it blazes strong and clear, illuminating several feet ahead of me. But it doesn't matter how much light I have, as long as I keep moving and stay present. The destination is not the point of this. The journey itself is where the meaning lives. I think of all the people walking through their own darkness on their own paths. We cannot see each other, but we're connected by the shared experience of moving forward. Each of us carrying our own small light, each of us doing the best we can. And maybe that's enough to change the world, not the grand gestures or the perfect plans, but millions of small lights refusing to go out, continuing to shine despite the darkness. When I'm gone, my light will be extinguished, but the path will still be here for others. And they will walk it with their own lights burning, adding their own warmth to this long tradition. So I will keep on walking through the dark, trusting that my light, however small, contributes something to the larger human effort. We are all keepers of the flame together, all shepherding each other toward the dawn.
The rain has been falling for hours now, drumming a rhythm against my window. I'm warm inside with tea and blankets, thinking of everyone who has no shelter. There is such arbitrary luck in life, such random distribution of comfort. I did nothing to deserve this roof except being born in the right circumstance of So what do I owe to those less fortunate than giving money or some other gesture? I think the debt is deeper than we admit requires more than charity or pity. It demands that we acknowledge the thin line that separates our safety from their exposure. Tonight I'm dry, but I have been the rain-soaked traveler, seeking kindness from strangers. I remember how it felt to need help, the vulnerability of asking for anything. Someone gave me shelter when I needed it. Someone saw my humanity and responded. They didn't make me earn it or explain, they simply opened up the door and welcomed. That memory lives in my body, still the relief of stepping into warmth and safety. So now I try to be that open door for anyone who needs a place to rest. Not because I'm good or seeking credit, but because I know how cold the rain can be. We are all just one disaster away from needing mercy. We cannot repay this. Knowledge should make us more afraid. Instead, it makes me feel connected to everything. We are all vulnerable. We all need shelter from the storms that come for everyone eventually. The best we can do is take care of each other, hold space for the lost and frightened and cold, share what we have while we still have it to share. Trust that kindness that kinds in mysterious ways. Someone has to remember the small things, the way sunlight looked the Tuesday afternoon, the joke that made us laugh until we cried, the song that played when everything felt right. Someone has to hold these moments safe from time's relentless habit of erasing. I volunteered without quite meaning to become the keeper of our shared history. At first it felt like honor, like a gift to be the one entrusted with our stories. But sometimes now it feels more like a burden, carrying memories that no one else recalls. I mentioned something that we did together, and you look at me with confusion in your eyes. Did that really happen, you will ask, or did I dream it or imagine it instead? I show you proof, the photos and the tickets, the evidence that we were really there. But still you can't retrieve the feeling, only facts that hold no warmth or weight. memory even real if no one shares it? Or does it become my private fiction now? I start to doubt myself, to question whether I've invented the past to suit some need. But then I close my eyes and I am there, living the moment as it was back then. I can feel the temperature, the quality of light. I can hear the actual timbre of your voice. This cannot be invention, it is too precise, too ordinary to be fantasy. So I will keep on being the keeper, even when it makes me feel alone. Someone has to bear witness to our lives, to say we were here and it mattered. The stories may change shape with each retelling, but their essence remains solid and true. I started writing letters to myself when I was young and full of questions. One for every year I hope to live, sealed up and stored in cardboard boxes. I thought my future self would have the answers, would finally understand the mystery. But now I open them with older eyes and find I'm still asking the same questions. The handwriting changes, but the heart remains confused and hopeful, anxious and determined. I laugh at what I thought was so important, the dramas that consumed my attention then. But I don't mock the person who wrote these words. She did the best she could with what she knew. Instead I write her back across the years, a letter filled with everything I've learned. I tell her that the pain she's feeling now will fade, though other pains will take its place. I tell her she is stronger than she thinks, that she will surprise herself with her survival. I tell her to be kinder to her body, to speak with gentler voice inside her head. And then I write another letter forward to the self I'll be in 20 years. I tell her things I wish that I could say. If I could know for certain she'd be there. I ask her if she found what she was seeking, or if she learned that seeking was the point. I hope she's reading this with knowing smile, thinking how naive I sound today. But mostly I just hope that she exists, still writing letters to her future self. This practice keeps me tethered to my life, reminds me that I'm always in transition. The person I am now is writing forward, the person I will be is writing back.
The oldest oak has stood here for 300 years or more, absorbing rain and sun. Its roots go deeper than the houses built around it, holding secrets that we'll never know. I come here when I need to feel connected to something larger than The tree doesn't judge or ask me to explain. It simply stands and offers shade and presence. Sometimes I think the trees remember everything. The lovers who carved names into their bark, the children who climbed high among their branches, the birds that nested safely in their leaves. They've watched humanity repeat its patterns, make the same mistakes in different ways. But still they grow, still reach toward the light, still offer us their oxygen and beauty. What can we learn from such persistence, from such quiet strength that needs no audience? The tree has never doubted its own purpose, never wondered if it should be something else. It simply is exactly what it is, and somehow that is radical and brave. I place my palm against the rough brown bark and feel the life that pulses underneath. The tree is not a symbol or a metaphor. It is a living being with its own existence. But still I take instruction from its stillness, from its willingness to change with seasons, to let go when the time comes, to let go, to trust that spring will bring renewal again. When I am gone, this tree will still be here, sheltering someone else who needs its wisdom. The thought brings comfort rather than despair, because some things survive beyond our human span. We are brief flickers in a longer story, but we can choose to burn with gentle warmth.
I found your letter in a box today. The paper yellowed, but the ink still dark. You drew a map of places we would go together when we both had time to spare. The mountains we would climb, the seas we'd cross, the cities where we'd walk until we're lost. None of it happened like we planned back then, but somehow I still traveled every mile. Just not with you beside me on the road. Instead, I carried you inside my chest. Every vista that took my breath away, I saw it twice through your eyes and through mine. The world is full of maps we never finished, plans that changed or broke or simply faded. Something lives beyond the disappointment, something sweeter than the dream fulfilled. I learned to love the journey, not the goal, to find the beauty in the altered path. If everything had happened as we planned, would I have met the strangers who changed me? Would I have stumbled into wonder that wasn't marked on any map we drew? I don't believe in fate or grand design, but I believe in making peace with change. The destination matters less than how you move through all the unexpected turns. So thank you for the map, we never used it. Taught me how to navigate by feel when the landmarks disappear in fog and rain. You trust the compass buried in your bones. I'm still traveling to places we invented, still searching for the edges of our dreams. And sometimes late at night I think I see you walking just ahead on your own path. We wave across the distance, sending light, checking in to say we're both okay. My grandmother taught me how to tend a flame before I understood what fire meant. She showed me how to shield it from the wind with both my hands, curved gently like a shell. The smallest spark can grow into a blaze if you protect it, feed it, give it breath. I carry this knowledge everywhere I go, applied to more than candles burning low. When someone speaks their truth in trembling voice, I lean in close and listen with my whole heart. This is how you tend the fire in another, by showing them their light is worth protecting. We live in times that try to blow out hope with storms of noise and cruelty and despair. But I have learned that darkness cannot win against the stubborn persistence of small fires. All across the world in quiet rooms, people are keeping something burning bright. A thought, an act of kindness, a belief that tomorrow might be gentler than today. These flames may seem too fragile to survive, but gathered close they generate real heat. I think of all the times someone has held space for my small fire when it flickered low. The teacher who believed when I could not, the friend who called just as I needed them. These moments saved me more than they will know. Their breath revived my almost dying spark. So now I do the same for those I meet. I cup my hands around their struggling light, not to possess or smother, but to shield until they find the strength to burn alone. This is the only magic that I trust, the ancient art of keeping fires alive.
There is a time when day and night collide, when neither rules the sky with absolute command. Colors bleed together at the edges blue, dissolving into purple, into black. I stand here at the threshold, watching both the light retreating and the darkness coming home. This is when I feel most truly myself, neither fully visible nor completely hidden. The birds have finished singing for the day. The crickets haven't started their night. Everything suspends itself in beautiful silence, like the world is holding breath before the change. I used to fear this moment of transition, thinking I would lose myself between two worlds. But now I understand that I belong exactly here inside this gentle transformation. We spend our lives pretending we are solid, fixed and permanent and always clear defined. But truth lives in these spaces in between, where edges soften and identities blur. I am both the person I was yesterday and someone new. I'm slowly becoming. The old self and the new self meet here and shake hands like friends who recognize each other. There is no conflict in this meeting, only quiet acknowledgement of change. I watch the last rays paint the clouds with gold and welcome evening shadows as they fall. Neither state is better than the other, each has beauty that the other cannot give. So I remain here in this sacred hour, learning how to be two things at once. Becoming is a never-ending process, and I am grateful for these twilight moments.
Walking through the silver morning mist, I see the world still sleeping soft and gray. Every breath becomes a quiet prayer that carries me from darkness into day. The stones beneath my feet remember all the travelers who passed this way before. Their stories echo in the wind that whispers through the branches overhead. I am not the first to walk alone, and I will not be the last to find my way. Something small inside me holds the light that guides me when the path ahead is unclear. It flickers like a flame behind my ribs, a tiny warmth that never quite goes out. When shadows grow too long across the road, I close my eyes and feel it burning there. This is how I learned to trust myself, to take one step and then another step. The distance doesn't matter anymore, 'cause the journey is the only truth I know. Sometimes I meet another soul at dawn. We nod and smile and continue on our way. No words are needed when you recognize the same small light reflected in their eyes. We are all carrying something precious home through fog and rain, and all the unnamed fears. The weight grows lighter when you realize you're walking with invisible companions. Every stranger is a friend I haven't met. Every shadow is a teacher in disguise. This road has no beginning and no end, just moments strung together like a song. And when the night returns, as night must do, I'll find that inner flame and walk again.